Hello everybody, welcome back. So today we are trying to use some of the new Alchemy cards that have come out in this set, namely Mycoid Resurrection, which is a 6 costing sorcery. So we're only running 2 because I don't think you can run too many 6 costing sorceries, but it has Fathomless Descent, which each creature card in your graveyard perpetually gets +X, which is the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. And then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So what this basically means is we get rewarded for having lots of creatures in there. We don't need them to be big or powerful to return them, because the idea is that the one's going to be huge when we return it, and then I think ideally we want some other ways of returning cards back from our graveyard, so we can get some added bonus after we've played this if necessary. And I think this pairs very nicely with the new Propagator Primordium, which is a 1 and a green rare, 3/3 fungus for 2. And it has, when it enters the battlefield, you conjure 2 cards named Propagator Primordium into your graveyard. So this instantly puts 2 things into your graveyard, even if it isn't killed itself. And then at the beginning of your upkeep, you put a spore counter on it. Then you can remove 3 spore counters from it and return target fungus creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So as a base, if it lives for 3 turns, you can bring back one of the 2 copies that it put into the graveyard. But obviously in this deck, we're running a couple of other fungi that could be better to return. So this is our kind of engine. We're also running 2 of the Chitinous Crawler, which is a 4 costing mythic 4/4 insect horror with some pretty cool art. But this has, at the beginning of combat on your turn, choose a target creature card in your graveyard, conjure a duplicate of it into your graveyard. So it's helping us boost the number of things in our graveyard, but also has to send 8, exile a permanent card from your graveyard, and you may play it. Obviously we can only do that if there are 8 or more permanent cards in our graveyard. So this is going to allow us to put more permanents there and eventually replay stuff out of the graveyard. So something that basically our opponent has to deal with, because otherwise it's going to let us play everything we want from our graveyard. We are pairing this with some cards that came out in the Lost Caverns of Ixilan, which is the Stalactite Stalker. This is the 1/1 rare Goblin Rogue with Menace. At the beginning of your end step, if you descended this turn, you put a 1/1 counter on it. Now I think this pairs nicely with Primordium, because if we play this on turn 1, if we play this, we're going to descend, which means this will grow, and there's kind of quite a few descend triggers in this deck by the nature of trying to fill our graveyard up. So I think this is a good 1-drop for the deck. Also running 2 Souls of the Lost, which is as additional cost to cast it, discard a card or sack a permanent, but then its power is equal to the number of permanents in our graveyard, and its toughness is that +1. So we're going to get a lot of permanents in our graveyard using the Propagator Primordium. We're also using the old Gixian Recycler, which when it dies or is put into your graveyard from your hand or library, you conjure a card named Gixian Recycler into your graveyard. So if we discard this with Liliana, or if we sack this, or if it just dies while it's attacking, we're going to get 2 extra creatures into our graveyard. We're running Slimefoot, the Thallid Transplant. Now I used to love trying to make this card work because it's just fun, right? Having access to all these old but a bit rubbish fungi when you play cards. I mean, having card advantage is always good, and there is the odd decent card in here. I won't really go through them, but having access to all those cards just for playing lands seems really nice, but this never really was that powerful. But given that we now have a bit of a fungal tribal going on because of the Primordium and the Mycotyrant, it's a bit more fun. So the other fungi that we're playing is the Mycotyrant, which, to be honest, I'm still not entirely convinced by, hence why we're only running 2 of them. But this is a legendary Elder Fungus with Trample, and its power and toughness equal to the number of creatures you control that are fungi and or saplings. At the beginning of end step, create X 1/1 black fungus tokens with this creature can't block, and where X is the number of times you descend it. So obviously, if we play a Primordium after having this out, that's automatically descend twice. If we have the Crawler, we're descending once each turn. But also we have other ways of descending in the deck, namely the Revenant, the Rise of the Witch King, Liliana, the Recycler. We can sack the Stalker. This can make us discard or sack. So there's loads of ways in this deck that we should be able to descend to trigger the Mycotyrant and create some more fungi and then grow. And then with the fungus coming out of this as well, and it has got the Thallid in there, which lets you grow them all to 2/2s, which can be a little win con in itself. We're running 2 of Akawalli, the Seething Tower, which has Descend 4, it becomes a 5. It's a 3/3 legendary fungus as base. Descend 4, so when there's 4 permanents in our graveyard, it becomes a 5/5 trample. And then if there's 8 or more permanents, it becomes a 7/7 with trample and can't be blocked by more than 1 creature. So quite a fun little fungus that sort of feels like it fits in very well with our deck. The reason we're running Liliana is for a little bit of extra removal, but also because of the +1, being able to force the players to discard has a big upside for us in that it triggers Descend. We're running 2 of Squirming Emergence, which was also from the core Ixilan set, which is to return target non-land permanent card in your graveyard with mana value less than or equal to the number of permanent cards in your graveyard. The reason I think this is good in this deck is because we're going to have lots of things in our graveyard. The things that we want to bring back aren't that higher mana value anyway, things like a Mycotyrant or the Starving Revenant or the Crawler or even just a Propagator Primordium. And also there's a chance that they could be really big if they've already been buffed by the Mycoid Resurrection, so that's why we're kind of running a split between the two. Running 3 of Rise of the Witch King, because this is basically the best reanimation spell in Alchemy in my opinion at the moment, which is each player sacks a creature. If you sacked a creature this way, you may return another permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Now, we could have lots of sort of fungus tokens lying around because of the Mycotyrant. We could sack Recycler, which then puts extra cards into our graveyard. We could have a Stalkers out, which are fine to sack. You know, we're going to have plenty of creatures around to sack, hopefully, for Rise of the Witch King. And bringing stuff back from the graveyard and forcing our opponent to sack something seems very nice. Running 1 of the Starving Revenant, which we maybe could play more of. I think what I might do even now is get rid of this and put a second Revenant in, because we were running Akawalli, but I think now I'd like to tune the deck more towards being based around Descend, and I think, yeah, this is just a nice little Descend card. I was running Sheldred, as you'll see in some of the games in the video, but I think if this card can be good in any deck, it is this one. Like, it has got the potential to trigger the Descend for us with its first ability, and then it has an upside if we've descended a lot, which hopefully we will with this deck. So that is the way the deck is looking. 1, 2, 3, 4. This obviously goes up there. These are in 2, 4. Let's just put those together. So, you know, we've got a relatively sort of balanced curve, quite a nice like bell curve type look in the deck. I am running 1 Phyrexian Scrapyard as a little extra discard outlet. And to help us generate some lands if we need. We're only running 25 lands, 13 of which are basics for the Slimefoot, which I think is probably the minimum you need. I was thinking of lowering this, but due to, you know, the way the lands keep coming out and causing me pain, I haven't removed these, but maybe this should go down like that. And then we've got 14, which is over half of our lands. And yeah, I mean, a bit of a spoiler on the video is that I've been tweaking this deck a lot, even through the video, and I think, you know, I really feel like there's something here, but the balance, you know, is still not quite right yet. So have a look through the video, watch how the games go, and see if you can find out. Think of a sort of better way to make these cards gel together. I think maybe ditching the recyclers altogether, a bit of a spoiler again, could be a way to go. Maybe it's more, you know, leaning more of the powerful cards like Revenant and maybe even Mycotyrant, but not sure. Really not sure, and using Virtue as the removal base seems good because it gives us that top end of being able to put stuff back onto the graveyard. It's also nice against the mono red decks with the life gain. However, you know, it's, if there were sort of permanent cards that can remove stuff, that would be much better for us. So I'm thinking things like the 2 costing enchantment that you end up sacking. This thing, Penregan Besieged. I'm thinking of replacing. In fact, let's even do that now. I think this could be a bit of a ticket, really, because you know, it's an extra permanent in our graveyard once our opponents have no creatures, which, you know, just buffs the whole power of the deck up. So I think maybe, you know, tweaking things like this in the deck could make a big difference to how it performs. But yeah, have a watch, and let me know what you think. Enjoy the games. All right. Good to go. I'm excited for today with some new cards. I've got some coffee. Let's get some wins. I haven't played much the last few days, but just been experimenting with the new Alchemy cards, and I think we're good to go with some fun decks. So there we go. Got our coffee. Sweet. So looks fun. Get in with the Stalker, shall we? Black. Alright, sadly none of our 2-drops. None of the 10 2-drops. But we got 2 Mycotyrants, so probably exile Sheldred given the choice. better off going with this for now. We haven't got any way to actually descend until we draw. Well, we've got tons of things that do help us, but not in our hand. Right, there's our third copy of 3 of those. Blue, black. Probably running the 1 ring then. Roscoe. No. This looks like my deck. Make them sack. And they will probably start attacking Lily. Probably shouldn't have made them sack. I probably should have discarded, given all the descend triggers we have. Yeah, so... Okay. Now I'm kind of glad that we've got our Lily back. I mean, they're going to have to kill one of our creatures eventually, right? Yeah, like now. And then we'll start our descent. This does look very like my deck. I haven't seen anyone else running this. Can they deal with Sheldred? It's the only real threat to them at the moment. Okay. I think we just attack with everything and see what happens. Watch them blow the world up. At least we can descend with this. Okay. If they just want to take out the 2/2 with that, we can kind of take that. No, they're going to chump with a land. Oh, that has Death Touch, I see. Not chumping. Yeah, getting a bit dangerous for you now, though. They can, in theory, win if they have another Shore Up and one more Aclazots. Don't think that's going to do it. It's my deck. Good game. Sweet. Let's try again. All right. On the play again. Flipping out. And we've even got our 1 into a 2-drop. This is how it's supposed to go, boys and girls. With the right lands and everything. Oh man, got 2 of these things. There's us descended, and they've only got a Pain land. Gotta feel sorry for the Legends players. Legends is the new mono red after all. Gwenna? No, just a Hajar. Okay. We can deal with that. Okay, we attack with both. We are obviously happy for a trade, since we've got another one. The Legends are only threatening if they build up anyway. Look, we've already got 5 creatures in the graveyard. Madness. Sigarda. Guess we'll just play this and attack with the Stalker. This is the one sort of card where, well, and that, where go for the throat would be a bit better, but so we just attack with all. Happy to trade Sheldred for Aragorn. And then we can finish off Sigarda. This will then be a 4/4, and we're only 1 land off actually playing this out. And we've got our cottages for stuff to do, so Joda now on its own is less threatening. Can actually kill Gwenna with this, but they haven't got what they need anyway. So we've only descended 1, but a land is good, and pretty much anything else off the top is good, except maybe a Stalker. But yeah, there's lots of good cards to draw in our deck. It'd be interesting to try a Jund version of this deck one day with the discard stuff, but I feel like you'd need something big to reanimate in that version. This is, I just said accept a Stalker. So I don't think they're going to want to take that, which would mean that we can I guess they just sack Hajar, so it doesn't matter what we do. At least we descend. We are 1 more off playing Virtue now, sadly, which would have been nice. Especially since we could start taking their things, but never mind. This can work too. Okay, yeah, that's why they're so happy to sack the Hajar. I'm quite keen to use my Stalker on the Crucius to stop them searching up Joda. They threw away a Joda. That seems very odd to me. Seems very odd. What even is this thing? Just a giant pile of fungus. another land. No, it's not really a trade we want. We got the life. You might as well play that. Well, maybe they couldn't. Now this is where this gets fun, eh? We can have our Sheldred back, or we can get a Propagator. I think Sheldred's the way to go, right? And no attacks. Sadly, sacking a fungus doesn't trigger Descend because it's only permanents. Discard a scroll. Ow, an Arwen's pretty bad for us. It means I can gain a load of life. Okay, well we can get rid of Arwen now. They can still use the ability to put a lifelink counter on Hajar. Why wouldn't you put it on Hajar? I guess because it's tapped and they're worried about us killing them. So they're going to have to send this in and sack the Hajar just to live. Unless they've top decked a Joda. Which they haven't, thankfully. Interesting that they wanted to keep the Crucius over ditching it with an Inti. I mean, they might not sack the Hajar and just lose the lifelink counter, but that seems worse to me. They can afford to give it indestructible with this, can they? Yeah. Put one more land down though. They've got a pretty nasty crackback to try and avoid here, right? Yeah, because this is trample, so they can't even, yeah. Nice. Okay. Those observant people of you may notice that I'm wearing different clothes. It's a different day. I'm recording this over 2 days, but I have still got coffee. I'm not a big fan of this one land situation. I'm not a big fan of the no green land situation, but I don't know if I have a huge choice here. Not the best hands to be able to showcase this deck with. If I could get a green land, that would be nice. I cannot. Okay, we'll just discard this Scrapyard. Might as well put some permanents in our graveyard. Don't like that they've managed to just get Fiery Inscription out, basically unpressured. It doesn't make me feel great. We're going to need our Aklazots, I think. Now we can't block Feldon. They threw away Raid Bombardment. They must have a good hand. Oh, they're letting us block it. I suppose, do we take that? Nah. The life gain's going to be good. No land, but we got a removal for Feldon. We're pretty much dead at this life total against 4 cards and an inscription, but you never know. 3 cards. 2 cards and 2 inscriptions is even worse. But at least if they don't kill us, we can plus Liliana and discard something. If that's just another shock type effect, then we're dead. If not, then we have a very small chance. But the land situation was very much didn't help us here. So we will plus. You throw that away. Good. Then even if they top deck a shock, we're not dead. They have to top deck a lightning strike. I think that's probably the only card in their deck that does 3 damage to face, right? Swift Spear ain't gonna do it for you, my friend. GG. Even with a terrible start, the power of Sheldred Liliana and Phyrexian Scrapyard has pulled us through. Are you pulling a strop now, Rex? Are you stropping? Okay, well we know this one's a win. I'll let you fill in the blanks. Ah, they're back. Good game. There we go. Onwards and upwards. Alright. I apologise, I noticed I didn't have the game sounds working for the past few games, but never mind. Just means you get to more intensely listen to my beautiful voice, you lucky people. Not the best opening hand. We seem to find this thing in duplicates permanently, even though there's only 3 in the deck. Very bizarre. It's quite a bad thing to find in duplicates because, you know, it doesn't enable Descend itself. If it had like an ability like pay 3, tap and surveil or something, but it doesn't. Let's put one of these in. See if we can tempt them to kill it. We have now got our Descend Enabler. Which is actually sort of, yeah, more valuable than this given we have a spare. Braves a Risen Nightmare. Sack the treasure. Very nice. nice little combo going. Pretty good. Nope. Okay. Got creatures to sack if that's what you want to do. Fine. Got tons of land. Players can't gain life. Okay. They can sack that scoundrel. We'll bring back one of these, I think. Interesting. People seem very scared of letting this get to 3, and I know it is bad for them, but like this was your whole engine, right? Never would be dealt damage, sack of equipment. Okay. Slightly just thinking about the effectiveness of this, because it doesn't descend unless they block it, basically, and we don't have... I mean, we have got a sack outlet in the Rise of the Witch King, but we don't have more than one. Interesting. So they can sack these artifacts. Okay. Getting a bit dicey now, isn't it? Yeah, just thinking that these aren't... They're quite good for putting stuff into your graveyard to an extent, but... So are we just dead now because they can sack 1, 2, 3... We were dead, right? They could have just shot us 3 times 3 damage. Well, we've got a chance. So we'll take it. Sadly, we can't gain life. So we lose. This is quite an interesting deck. I mean, I've never seen this thing do anything with a Jouster. But yeah, now we just die to the foods, unfortunately. Well, they got 1, 2, and then they'll get 1 more, 3. Yeah. Ugh. We fell a bit flat there, and I think it was possibly the Recycler's fault, so I'll have a think about that. Okay. Made a couple of small changes. I removed 2 of the Gixian Recyclers and added an extra 1 of these, so now we've got a total of 2 in the deck. And an extra Slimefoot, which is the 2 costing one that triggers when you play a forest or swamp. How have we drawn our 2? Our 2 of these. That's very impressive. Mono red on the draw. We did okay last time, so let's hope we can survive again. Okay, well if they enlist that, at least we can just block it. They're not enlisting it. Interesting. I mean, you could have attacked first, right? Unless this is some kind of next level mind game, I don't know why he didn't do that all ahead of time. Okay, well this is going to be a 5/5 trample, which can be very hard for them to remove a 1 card, and we're only down to 8. I would have put it on this one, I think, and attacked this one and forced us to block. As it stands, we can't block. No more lands, please. They need more lands, they only have 3 and 12. So we've got 6. Okay, am I running 24 lands and we've had this many? Or are we running 25? 25, yeah. Okay, good game. Whatever. Alright. Looks like a good hand. We'll play this first. Oh man, mono red again. This is where the Gixian Recycler should be good. Why bother? Whoever's playing this obviously wants creatures in their graveyard, no? 3/4 and a 2/2 for 3 mana is not bad. Okay. And then next time we just start with Liliana. This deck doesn't want to discard, I know that much. Maybe we'll have to make them sack, I don't know. I think discarding is very good. I might want a Mycotyrant if they kill this one. At least we've got them thinking. Yeah. So they don't want me killing their stuff. It does grow our souls. We're definitely the beatdown. Especially with these, you know, whilst when we play this it takes 1 damage off of this, this is 3 damage, so if we're like on the cusp of beating them down, we can always do that. Are they going to attack Lily? Yeah. They're going to attack with both. Do we block this? I think we do, right? Like this.
Oh, I really don't have time for you.
So if we do this, we can really put pressure on them, because they can't sack the Swift Spear. Otherwise they die to this coming in. Yeah. And now they have to chump with the Swift Spear. We might have to chump with this, but this 9/10 they are never getting rid of, so as long as we don't die, this will eventually win us the game. I'm just a little bit sad about this thing. It needs to be a little bit stronger, right? If there was like a really good 1-drop fungus or saffron. You didn't play that one. Okay. Yeah. Hard to see how they get out of this one with these two. Okay, that's their blocker, I suppose. This can attack. Just let it through for now. So make them block. We can play this as a blocker. So let's do like this. playing the safe route. I mean, they could remove both our creatures, I suppose. Or burn us to death, but if they can burn us to death, they can burn us to death. Not much I can do about that. Okay. Good sign so far. I mean, they can shock this and then use some other red spell. Yeah, now they've got the win. Shock the Stalker. That was close, man. But, yeah. Painful. I've just realised, like, the problem in all these games is that we have never drawn this. Well, I think we had it once when we couldn't gain life, but, like, all these small creature decks, we haven't found our removal spell, ever. I actually forgot this was in the deck. I was wondering, like, why didn't I put any removal in here? And I was like, well, where is the removal? Alright, let's try again. Okay. Next one. Doesn't look too bad. Should hold on to the forests and swamps, just realised, because we're running the Slimefoot now. The nice thing is this can't be, they can't go for this thing's throat. They can reprieve, though, endless reprieves. As soon as you play against white, you know they've got 3 reprieves in their opening hand. So I don't like this card, it's just good to have in your hand, right? Never bad. You watch more reprieves coming. Okay. Proven wrong. Cut down. Fine, at least they used it on that. Interesting. Knight's deck, that's a very nice little sequence for the opponent. Reprieve, cut down, knight and knight. Probably got the Midnight Rider out of the spell book, did you? Or whatever it's called, the one that lets you destroy a creature. Right, just got the Portent in hand. Oh dear. It's not looking great. The problem is, this is just a constant refuel of good cards until we can deal with it, which we can't.
My home, and I don't appreciate it when people touch my things. Sacrifices must be made.
I mean, they should just play this, really. They've got the board position. Knowing that we basically can't deal with Radic. I swear whenever I play this card, I just end up playing against Legends, and then you just lose. Because you can never attack into them, and eventually they win. That's why I struggle with this card for that exact reason. again. Haven't found a single one of our virtues.
I'll be back.
Not that it's going to do us any good now, but getting rid of this earlier would have been very nice. See if I can convince them to just use a destroy on this. Okay, well we have a block of a Radic finally. They've probably got another one by now. And we've got loads of resurrection, so I'm happy to let this die to Radic if that is an option. Obviously this thing is prone to getting blown out if they like shoot one of the other fungi. Oh, they have got the Murderous Rider, that's the thing I was talking about. Not Midnight, Murderous. Oh no! Mycoid Resurrection in the trash. It's so unfortunate. This has literally just landed so sweetly for her opponent. We lost anyway. Ugh, man, that just literally felt like it lined up so perfectly for them and so badly for us. Alright, I've made a few more tweaks to this deck. I won't go through them all because I feel like there is something here, but it's just not. We've got one of these in here now. It's just not quite popping for me for whatever reason, so I want to see if we can make it pop. It's just like, it's a fun deck, but losing too often isn't fun, so you need to keep playing around with it to make it a winning deck, right? Alright, the new Merfolk. Didn't want your Serum Snare. The trick with these decks is just keep the number of them down, right? Okay, they've probably got the bounce spell in their hand. Maybe. This thing. No, Amalgams. It's not just Merfolk. This is like a proliferate deck. Proliferate creatures. I want to get the number of chorus counters up, eh? Yeah, okay, Merfolk, Explore, plus Malcolm. Yeah. Don't want the vehicle. Both into the graveyard, thank you. At least this can kill Malcolm if we need it to now. Interesting attack. Opponent's definitely feeling frisky with their J-Light Spelunker. Okay, that's nice. Although putting this back in our hand feels not great for them. It's just a descend trigger. Just thinking that if they have a way to proliferate, this is going to let them play something for free. I'm not sure that's the end of the world. Put them both in there. This thing now 5/5. This might have been the missing link, this little boy. Seemed better than Sheldred in this deck. Okay, Larcenist. I mean, they've managed to mill more than we have. Ooh, this exploring. Maybe there's a blue version of this deck in there somewhere. Sultai. Okay, so let's get rid of this. 1. That gives us this back. And get rid of that. 2. And then win. Alright. Feel a little bit better about the deck now that we actually drew some of our removal. Alright. One more go, maybe. Okay, could be worse. We can play this. We've got some of these. This land can help us fill our graveyard up. And then this for if all goes wrong. Interesting sleeves. Gandalf being pulled down by the Balrog. Oh. So we have a 43% chance to draw land, and we've got to run it twice, which is next turn and the turn after to find our third land. So over half a chance in total. Probably about 60 something. Not that good at on the fly probabilities. Already got one. Akawalli, Seething Tower. It's cool fungus, gotta say that. These guys are just creepy as shit. The warrior, the poet of unity. I suppose we just do this. Aha. That's nice. But what big dinosaurs coming down now? Alright. Spear tail. This is a cool dinosaur, I really like it. I'm not sure about running the halfling when there's the 1/1 for dinosaurs, given that this is not legendary and needs 2 colours, but maybe they're running that as well. Maybe we can please go. Looks like they got the old arena crash to me. That's a shame. So what we can do is take a land, I think. Should we discard this? Attack with both these. Knowing that we could trade either for the Spear Tail, but fine. Got to keep pressure on. Also, if we keep the number of creatures down, the Rise of the Witch King becomes a bit better. We can't actually play this because of the lack of black, but never mind. Okay, that's less than good. What did they get from us? A Stalker, okay. And from themselves, a Spear Tail. This is a bit annoying, game. I don't really want to sack this, but maybe I should. The thing is, they just sack that, right? And all we get back is the souls, which is a 5/6, but... Alright. We've got a good block for a Dali. If they've got another one, that's bad. And they must just have big things, right? Because they weren't doing a lot at the start. Please get a black land. I don't know what it is about some colours, but they just seem to struggle to give you the lands you need. I'm already running one Scrapyard, is it? Yeah, only one in the deck, so that's hardly the blame for colour screwing. Have you disconnected again, Popov? I thought I saw them mousing over their stuff just now, but maybe not. They're back. Not in time. It's okay, because we still didn't get what we need. One of these. It's going to buff this up to a 7/7. And it can't be blocked by more than one creature, but they have actually got a bigger creature. Interesting. This is the thing that I'm a little bit worried about, because it's infinite value for them. What the hell? Where the hell are my black lands? Oh no, they got the chomp. That just sums up how this video has gone, I think. Okay, let's try one more. Let's do it, let's do it. We've got our land colours, we've got some interesting cards. We're against black-white, but let's not let that deter us. Even got our Slimefoot, look. This into Dollmaker by any chance? Let's get rid of the token. So if they don't have a Dollmaker, this gives them no value.
Happy to help.
And then we've got our Lily for triggering Descend later. Yeah, of course. I mean, what the hell do I do about this?
You won't be outsmarting me.
Maybe you can only play best of 3 in Alchemy, because this, we just have 4 Terra Sunders in the sideboard, and we're good. They could double block the Stalker, but that's also fine. Slows them up. Oh wait, they've got the ring. Why are we... Yeah. Discard. Drop it. Nice, and happen to have a way to empty stuff out of our graveyard. They don't even take it. Because they're so far ahead, they don't need to. Fine.
We all have things we'd rather.
Only one off of making this a 7/7. That can only be blocked by 1, which would be nice because it sort of means that we can kill them through all of this. But through this as well, and this, and God knows what else they've got.
You couldn't be more annoying. Drop it.
You couldn't be more annoying. I feel like this thing combined with Dollmaker It's also a fun thing that needs to be tried. Maybe this is not quite the right shell, I don't know. Yeah. The problems are occurring, but you never know. If we get something, there might be something we can make this win us the game. The problem is all their creatures are going to be massive next turn due to this. That has made this nice. So they can only block 2, and then they're going to take 2 from this. So in theory they're dead next turn, but you can only block 1 damage. No, they needed to power up the Restless Fortress and block with that, then they would be alive. So 6, yeah, they're going to be on 1 anyway, so that's okay. They'll actually survive this, annoyingly. Yeah, they've realised what they should have done, I think. Now, do we survive? I'm not sure. What they should do is power up their fortress now as well, right? I don't know if they're going to just win outright anyway, because they're going through with 4 creatures. So now they need to do 6 each, so there's no way that this is causing just yet. The problem is if we bring a creature back from the graveyard with this will be not fully descended anymore, but that's fine because we can just block with it and it'll die back to the graveyard. Now we need to hope it does die back to the graveyard, because that got exiled. Okay, that one not got exiled, so that's good then. So this is only 18 damage anyway, but we'll block a little bit, just in case. We did not deserve to win that. But I'm going to take my win and end there.